evening, good morning, wherever you're listening in from. We have no idea, but we'll hit a time zone, I'm sure. This is a journey in boots from trauma to triumph. One of my favorite shows, favorite days of the week, Thursdays. And of course, because as always, I have the amazing, lovely Dr. J over here. But before we get started, and I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do this, I want to give a shout out to my very own guys. Once a year, I do an major event. And so that is coming up August 3rd in Tilbury, Ontario. Yes, you will have to come to Canada A. And we are looking for some amazing golfers. You don't have to be good. You just have to have fun. $100 gets you 18 holes, a cart, and a steak dinner. There is so many prizes that are coming through the door that it's unbelievable. The community has really stepped up, and the proceeds will go to the Chatham-Kent Patient Care Assist Program, which means that money 100% goes to a patient. That doesn't mean it goes to research for cancer and all this other stuff. It goes directly to the patient. So I'm super excited about that. If you want more information, connect with me. And I know I normally don't do that, Jay, but I had to do that. And so the lovely and amazing Dr. J, I was on the right side over here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, ma'am. I know everybody knows about you, but you're so freaking amazing. You do so much for our first responders and our veterans, of course, being a veteran yourself. She does own Semper Modus, and she is in a kick-ass. I'm probably going to get it right. I'm wrong. I would say a therapist, but is that right or wrong?
Yeah, it's great.
There we go. Kick-ass therapist who has 27 healing modalities at her disposal.
37, love. 37.
Oh, well, it's changed since the last time I knew that. This woman is constantly upgrading herself, like constantly. I don't know how many freaking MBAs or whatever it is that you guys have over there, but the woman has like 27 or more letters behind her name. That should speak for itself. And she has the heart as bigger than Florida, so that's pretty big. And so anything else you want to say about yourself, ma'am?
Good Lord. I mean, how do you respond to that? Wow. Thank you, Dorothy. I think you're pretty exceptional too. You run 3 of these shows, have a full-time job, and continue to find me speaking gigs. So like, how cool is that? I am, I'm okay, but I have found individuals to join my practice who have served, whether it be their country or their community, and they have much different specialities than I do. Grief and loss is not a forte of mine. So I was lucky and honored enough to find someone who does serve their community for the past 18 years. And now she is part of my Semper Modus team. And there are several more. Sabrina's been on the show. She's one of my providers. Norm's been on the show. She's one of my, wow. Sorry.
Wow.
Norm.
Sorry,
Love
Norm.
you. Sorry,
wow.
Dude. Saw you this morning.
He's like the dude of all dudes.
Yeah. Well, we were at a horse ranch this morning. So, and also I kidnapped him for the weekend and we went and got dive certified. So I want to, I've overcome my trauma in the water, and because of Tony from Bubbles for Vets. So because he was so kind and he does trauma-informed diving, that I was able to move forward, close my eyes, take my mask off, and not freak out. So that is one of the hardest part of the certification. But we had an amazing weekend. And what I want to do now is give, some kudos to the star of the show today. So this is retired officer Alisha Buchanon. I met her a couple years ago, and she was brought into my path by a fellow lieutenant friend of ours. And she is here today to tell her story. So, Alisha, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks for the invite, guys.
And I would love for you to tell us where you started. So this show is all about a journey in boots, because we all wear boots, right? And it's from trauma to triumph. And you've definitely had your fair share, and you're willing to come on here and share your story, which is an exceptional story in and of itself, because there are many officers who look at the possibility of the things that have happened to you, and this actually happened to you. So I want you, if you're comfortable, to share your story, which is pretty amazing. Most people don't want to share their journey, but I would like to start with telling you how exceptional you are and how honored I am for you to be here. I love that we have crossed paths because you are a wonderful human
Don't
being.
do that. I'll start crying.
And I'm so proud of you. But I want to start out the show with asking you, what on earth made you decide to become a police officer?
So I became a police officer. It was two main events in my life. So first one being my dad, watching my dad. He's like the biggest role model for me in my entire life. He's an officer as well as his dad. So I'm the third generation in, first female in. So, and that's been such a blessing. And I feel like such a rebel because the way I grew up, women, we don't do military, we don't do law enforcement. I literally was raised balancing books on my head and reading Emily Post and etiquette book and walking straight lines. So, yeah, and I always wanted to do it, but growing up, you can't. So I did. The second one, my best friend passed away. She was 7 years old, and so was I. And we were supposed to see each other that day, and she had an incident where she drowned. She jumped from the dock to a boat to go get her Elizabeth doll. We had just alike. She hit her head and she passed away. She drowned in the water. And so living with that and carrying that and being the last to speak to her, because I told her to go get the Elizabeth doll, so I did not know it was on the boat. It made me say, okay, I need to do something to help too, because I wasn't there. And yeah.
There's a lot of
So,
survivors.
I made myself there.
I can't imagine being 7 years old in first or second grade and having to deal with, that loss at that age. I mean, your brain isn't even developed yet.
Yeah. Yep.
So how did you move forward with that?
I don't necessarily know if I even really did. I think about her all the time. I have her picture on my kitchen sink. Whenever I feel like giving up or this is too tough, I'm like, you're living for her and you're living for you too. And she would want better for you. And I have that everyday reminder at the sink, of that. So, but life kept on going and, and it's like she just goes with me.
That's pretty awesome. So where did you go to school?
Where I went to school. So I'm still in school.
Well, we're all
I gotta live. Gosh. I grew up in Gloucester. So I'm from the country. So I went to Gloucester High. From there, I did dentistry because that's what I wanted to do when I grew up. And so I did dentistry. So I went to school.
Well, clearly
in
you
Richmond.
got good at it because you have amazing teeth.
Thank you. I just flossed. I appreciate it. Thank you. I did do that. I did it for quite some time, and I enjoyed it. And then randomly, I went on into the academy, the police academy, and did that. While I was there, I was in Liberty, or I was enrolled in Liberty for my bachelor's. And so I received my bachelor's in criminal justice. Why, I don't know. But then I went on and got my MBA, getting my MBA in human resource. So I should be finishing with that next year. Better be finishing with that next year.
I better be done.
Tired of it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but
I hear
yeah, I'm a nerd. I love to learn. So I say that, but then knowing me, I'll probably go do something else. Go study something else. I don't know.
So you got a job. Did you have anybody like the buddy system? Like for me, when I went in the service, I had a guy that I used to drag race with who goes, I'm going in the Air Force. And I said, ooh, what's that? And I kind of followed him to the recruiter's office, not having any clue what I was doing. So did you have that experience too? Did anybody like, I'm going with you?
No, no.
Really?
If anything, I have a really close guy friend of mine who's with Norfolk PD, and we used to party together back in the day. Known since I was 19, drinking Four Locos with no business. And anyway, and I remember telling him, I said, "Yeah, so I want to do this. I want to be, an officer too, just like you." He's like, "You're crazy." So he sat me down and made me watch all of these videos of women getting beat on duty, and he told me, he was like, "No, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. No, this is ridiculous. Why would you do this? You're a good person." And so I did it. And he didn't come to my graduation, even though I invited him. But we're still friends. We're cool. So no, I didn't have no buddy system. That was my buddy that I was trying to make as like a but no, as for going in there with somebody, no, I don't think anybody in the right mind is like, yeah, I'm gonna do this with you. Like majority of people. So we're a special crowd. Law
Bunch of
enforcement
badass
officers are
bitches
definitely
right there. She's got a t-shirt.
beautiful badass bitches.
I'm a
Yes, yes.
honorary beautiful badass bitch. So I got my t-shirt in the mail. I was pretty excited.
Well, now I really can't wait to see it. Where's yours, Jay?
In the closet, in one of the
Yeah.
closets. We're not going to talk about my closets.
No, we're not. I've seen a couple of them. Oh my gosh.
Ew, I have a lot of clothes. Anyway, back to Alisha. So you were with a sheriff's office, right?
Yes, yep,
On patrol,
Sheriff.
doing your thing.
yep. On August 1st. Can we tell about it? All right, let's get into it. All
I
right.
met you on
So-
August 4th, right? 2022?
Yep,
I met
Met
3
you,
days
but yes, about 3 days later. Quick and in a hurry. So August 1st, 2022, I was working Charles City Sheriff's Office. So this is about like my maybe second department. Yeah. And business as usual. So I'm doing supplements in dispatch, inside of dispatch. So I'm there with her in person. They have the good computers. So, and we work one deputy at a time. All right, 12-hour shifts. And so I'm doing my supplements, and she gets this call. I cannot hear the person
Well, some
on
of
the other
them are
end.
civilians, so you need to explain what supplement. I know what they are, but you need to
Oh,
explain.
supplements. Yeah. Okay, so when you do a police report, you have your report and then your follow-ups. Hey, just checking in, see if anything's changed. Those are your supplements. Any added information to any investigation case you may have. So they're just little like journal entries, if you will.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting here catching up on my supplements, and she gets this call. I'm in La La Land, just whatever. And she says, he's in the store. He has a gun. It's on his hip. And I just look back. She goes, okay, no, it's in his hand. I'm looking at her. She's like, okay, no. Well, you can open carry if it's in a holster, man. So I'm like, all right. Da, 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 da. Okay, so he's shopping with it in his hands. So I stopped playing music. I was like, all right, let me go up there. I said, is he black or is he white? She said, he's black. I said, what's he wearing? She said, red and black. I said, okay, Sin State. Because I have no idea what I don't think she knows what's going on. So the drive is extremely quick. I'm talking, it's like not even a 30-second drive. Okay, it's over the stoplight. It's very, you could walk there. So I don't even run license sirens because I'm right there. It's a Dollar General. So I go on, park. According to my body camera, I reach back in my car for whatever. I come back out like I'm chilling. I did unlatch on the way there just in case. All right. But I was thinking I'm gonna go advise law. Charles City is very very rural. It's very
Country.
country. Everybody's cousins, so everybody knows everybody. So I'm like, okay, nothing goes on here, right? So I'm like, okay, I still unlatched. I walk to the door, and it's the automatic sliding doors. So as I'm approaching the door, this guy is approaching out the door. So I don't know who tripped the sensor, if it was him or if it was me, because we're nose to nose. I'm then met with a muzzle to my face. He has a gun pointed right in my face, just like that. And
What
he's
was going
masked.
through your mind? Hang on. What was going through your mind in those seconds?
I don't think anything went through my mind. I get asked that a lot. Like, how'd you feel? Were you scared? I don't think you really, at least for me, I didn't go through any kind of emotion. I wasn't scared, happy, sad, mad. I wasn't thinking about nothing, not yet. You just kind of like blank out. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing.
So with the military, like we train, and then we train some more. Because when those situations occur and your body goes into fight flight mode, we train. Like the automatic response is to do exactly what we need to do, when we need to do it, how we need to do it, the way we were trained. So was that the situation for you?
I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just go in, it's kind of like a autopilot mode. Well, he did say something to me. At the time, I did not know what he said. I thought he said, drop it, but that's not what he said. I found out later in my body cam. He said, put your hands up. That's what he said.
Ooh.
Because he's masked like this. So, I can barely hear him anyway. And I have a gun to my face. So, no, I just was like, really, maybe what I was thinking was just, oh shit, today's the day. So I went ahead and scurried off, just like this to the side, got my weapon out. And before I could even make that swift movement, all right, pause. We go to the range and we train there. We're used to 30 seconds, or not 30 seconds. What is it? It's more like 6 seconds. 2 to the head, 1 to the body. Like, when we're qualifying every single year. Nobody trains you for this. This is not, he fires in like a split of a hair. It was so fast. I'm not even out the holster. But then again, he has an advantage because he has a gun right to my face.
Right.
So, finger on the trigger and all. So he fires at me, looking back at my body cam, 5 times. He ends up, and I'm not out the holster. I'm still in his line. Pow, 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 pow. It's by the grace of God and bad aim that I'm here today. He had a clear advantage, headshot and all. So I scurry off. I get my weapon out. He then starts running past me, if you will, past me. We are very close. The entire time, we're in a parking lot. I mean, it's Dollar General, okay? He's still in the store. I'm outside on the sidewalk. We're close. He goes and runs past me, still firing, just pow, 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 pow. That's when I felt, it was either then or when I got to the other side of the building, I felt like a pressure in my back. So I had called out and said, did I say that? I can't remember if I said it right then and there or after, but I ended up telling dispatch I've been hit. We're not there yet though. So I went ahead and exchanged gunfire with him, and pow, 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 pow. I had enough time to focus my sights on his dome. We spent a long time together, a very, very long time. So it's exchange of gunfire. He then goes into the wood line. At this point, I'm realizing, okay, I think, this thing is like starting to burn a little bit. It's starting to burn, and then it's a little bit more. And it's just, woo! I start gargling.
Blood is starting to burn. So talk a little bit about where you were shot.
I was shot parallel to my heart. So I have a muscle dent right parallel to my heart. And so I'm starting to cough and gargle, and my breathing's a little weird.
It went through your vest?
My vest caught it. My vest caught it.
So you got, like, the vest caught the bullet, but you got, like, the impression of the bullet? Like, how far did it come in?
It came in, okay, so it went, from my understanding, the vest caught it, okay? due to the impact, he shot me with a 45.
Jesus.
So due to the impact, the doctor said it was equivalent to someone taking a baseball bat and breaking it over your back. So that coughing, that gargling, that was all phlegm. Phlegm? Is it phlegm? So I had this whole cater of a wound, and it looks like a puncture mark. It looks like it would, but it's
Yeah,
from
it's
the.
way bigger than a puncture mark, Alicia.
Oh, the thing is massive, but
Yes.
but if you look really little, like it looks like as if the bullet did go through. That's what it looks like.
Right.
The doctor said that if I did not have my vest on, okay, because mind you, let's just tell it, 2 months prior to that, I did not. There was a brand new vest there that fit me like a glove, but my supervisor said because it belonged to a man and I'm a woman, it would be a liability for them.
Right.
Brand new vest. Anyway, so if my vest was not on, the doctor said it would have killed me on impact. Like there's no thoughts about it. It's right. It's a 45. Like done. He said if you did survive, it would have pierced a major organ, and you would have died like that. So there's 2 deaths there. If it wasn't instant, it was eventually.
Right.
And then the third, he said, and if you survived, you'd be a paraplegic. You'd be paralyzed from the neck down.
Right.
Because of the placement right next to my spine. Yeah. So I go in the store, and in law enforcement, we're taught to clear. You have to clear rooms, clear buildings. That means to make sure there's no more threats inside the building at all, doors, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I go going back into the store. Well, they done locked the doors. Okay. They manually locked it. So I'm sitting here, banging like, hey, open the door, because I don't know who else is in this store. All right. I go in the store, and I feel like I'm about to pass out at this point. I go and I clear the aisles of Dollar General. I go to the back of the store. I realize there's nobody else in here, just my hostages, because he had them at gunpoint, apparently. And they were standing still, like birthday candles on a birthday cake. They were just. So I called dispatch, and I said, hey, I have a daughter. Her name is Orchid. She's 7 years old, and I need her to know that her mom loves her. I could tell dispatch is like very distressed because she knows I've been shot. And so I repeated the message to her, and she said, okay, I'll tell your daughter anything you want me to tell her. And I told her I'll see her later, not knowing if I actually would, because they say that when you transition, you go on to glory, it's like you feel very lightheaded. I've heard that before. I've heard that that everything just goes out to peace, and that I felt as if, okay, I know I'm transitioning. I know that I know that I know I am. So priorities. I need to tell my daughter. Everybody and anybody else, I love y'all respectfully, but in that time frame, I also tell people if you're trying to figure out where you're positioned with the Lord, a 20-minute gunfight is not the time to have that conversation. Because he and I had to have that talk. Sit down, I'm like, God, at any moment, because it was burning so bad. I knew that the bullet was basically making its way. And at any given moment, I'm going to just, and lights out, I'm going to drop. As soon as it pierces where it needs to. Mm-hmm. It's just a radiating on fire. So I had that talk with him. I was like, look, we ain't got no other option. I got to go with you. So, yep. I went on into the ambulance, and next thing I know, I'm on the news, and everybody's calling, and I have no idea how they're finding out. Yeah. So that's the story.
So did you get him too, though?
No.
Did you shoot him?
No, I could put a page, and I struggled with that. That's something I struggled with, anger for a long time. Yeah, a long time. And even sometimes now, I still, with the anger part, I still retract to that because I fought so hard. And not to sound cruel, but we're trained to stop the threat. And so in my brain, I'm like, Alisha, you failed. He has no problem shooting an officer or dead law enforcement. What if one of your brothers and sisters out here gets hurt and it'll be because of you? Because the last time the buck was in your hand and you dropped it. What if he hurt somebody else? So
He has since been caught, Dorothy. He was not caught
yes,
that day. Okay.
right. Yep.
So
He came out
how
to
do you
Newport News.
share that part, honey?
Yes. Okay. So then, it was in October. He came out to Newport News to do the same thing. Okay. The same. It ended up being an armed robbery, and he was caught by a money tracker. He was caught, and that weekend, Newport News came out and they got him. Turns out that he had robbed about 11 stores.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
in the same fashion. Young guy. Yeah, he was about 20, early 20s.
He's about
Um,
this big around too.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's thin. Um, we just had court this past year for him. So this is 2022. So what is it? 2023 we had court. He was found guilty. He has 3 life sentences, plus 8 years. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, he won't be doing that again, and you can thank yourself for that. I mean, finally getting him in jail. That's the main part.
Yeah, I did tell him I forgave him though. I told him that on the stand. Um, and I don't know if that was for me or for him, but I need it in my heart. I know what Dr. Royce was going to say, but I need it in my heart, and I wanted to share that
She
with
knows me well.
I
I have
already,
a feeling I know what's going through Dr. J's mind, and I get you. But forgiveness is for you. It's not for that guy. That's for sure.
yeah. Either it's here or there. I did share that with him.
We had that conversation, didn't we, Alisha?
We do a couple times. We do a couple times, maybe like every 2 months. Yeah.
You're true.
Yeah. Yep. And so, but as a result of all that, and I hate speaking ill, but my department at the time, it, uh, you would think that it would get easier. And I tell people, I'm like, what? It's like you're out of the gunfire, but you're still in the fight. My nights sleeping before I met Dr. Royster, and even still sometimes she still works with me. Yes, she is my therapist.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Well, I know that. That's why I said yes.
Volunteer.
She is my therapist, and she's amazing. You are absolutely amazing. You've helped me. I don't want to start because I'll start getting emotional, but you've helped me more than you know. Before I met her, the first 3 nights or so, I didn't sleep. I think
At
past
all.
48 hours. No, not at all. Now I have to take, and I do say have to take magnesium. Dr. Royster gave me those instructions, and it's been working. I take that every single night because if I don't, I will get night terrors or nightmares. Graphic, gory. I don't want to share nightmares. Explicit. They're horrible. Yeah, my
I
anxiety.
do kind of want to talk a little bit, if you're open. I would like you to talk a little bit about. I think there is some glory to being, shot in the line of duty and surviving, and I think that there's a lot of people that, that, and I kind of want you to talk about the struggle with that.
Oh God.
Because
I've had people.
A lot of officers don't understand that there's no romanticism in those efforts. I mean, yes, you do get praised. Yes, you are on the news, but that's very much 15 seconds of fame as opposed to the overwhelming process that you have after that within your department when something like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you can share as much or as little as you want. I told you before, like you only share what you're willing to share.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That part of it.
Because you know they do. They romanticize that.
No.
Line of duty.
I've had, I would call my colleagues, if you will, fellow officers and deputies that once I got shot, my Facebook friends list, I don't add everybody up there because I don't know, I'm a whole mom and stuff. But that went skyrocketed, and majority of them were officers. And I told one of my girlfriends, Austin, and she's watching, she's with Portsmouth PD, and she's like my sister. And I said, I don't understand. So trying to add me as a friend, he know I don't like him. He knows I do not like him. He knows I do not rock with him. And she said, well, Buchanan, you have to understand, you just got shot. So officers have a tendency of running towards that adrenaline. They just want to be a part of the story. They just want to be attached to all that.
Yeah.
It is not, and I guess I don't know if some people get shot in the line of duty and they walk around like, yeah, I've been shot, I caught a bullet. Like, it is nothing. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. Like, not just the sleeping issues of it, the panic attacks. I shared with my therapist. I shared with her a panic attack I had in a Food Lion parking lot because some guy turned around and came towards me. And the look in his eyes, the fashion that he was walking reminded me of that day. Your brain can go 0 to 100 quick and not even over things you wouldn't know would trigger you, things that used to not trigger you.
Dorothy, I was on the phone on a cruise talking through this.
I believe
it. And I feel bad because she's like on
not
vacation.
Leave her hanging.
And I'm having a whole, oh God, no, it's nothing. Actually, before we got on this podcast, before we got on here, I reached out to a buddy of mine. He's with York County. They had an incident today around noon where James City County, so you have Williamsburg, James City County, York County. Okay, we all kind of work together. Used to work there back in the day. They had an incident where a guy had shot up, or officers rolled on the scene, and he started shooting. So there was I forgot, it was an ungodly amount of bullet holes in this James City County police officers, patrol vehicle. Praise God, nobody got hurt from my understanding. Oh, I think an officer did get fragments of the bullet and so had to go to the hospital. York County pulls up on scene, back up. And from my understanding, they had gotten, shot as well, or shot at. He shot them all with a rifle. Long story short. So I reached out to one of my really good buddies with York County and I said, hey, I know what this is like. First, I want to make sure he was okay. And it wasn't him. He was okay. I said, okay, regardless of who it was, if I know him or not, let them know. They can text me, they can call me. The thoughts get dark.
Yes.
You don't have to catch a bullet to go through trauma.
No.
Okay. The thoughts get dark. You will contemplate everything, including life. You're alone, isolated, the anxiety, the stress, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing anything. And everybody telling you, oh no, we understand. You've been shot, or no, you're a hero. We understand it. I don't understand. You call me a hero. I don't feel like that, know, and I don't want nobody to go through that. So knowing they went through that just today, before we hopped on, I had communicated that over, but it's not glorified. I've had people that were jealous of me, that were lieutenants and older. Yes. And I know this from the supervision, the upper, higher than this lieutenant was. Yeah. She
not just lieutenant, there was a major as well.
Major. Yeah. Because I'm the one that got shot and everybody calls me BAMF, which stands for beautiful. Oh, no. Stands for badass motherfucker. That's what it stands for. The medic told me that.
That is awesome.
He was an army guy. He was an army, and he was in the medics. And he said, we call people like you BAMF. I said, what is BAMF? He said, it stands for badass motherfucker. So, and people know that. I have it on my bracelet. And why? Why would you want that? Like,
we need to make each other bracelets.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
My daughter's a Swiftie. She's a Swiftie, so she has me with all these.
Aww.
Yeah, no, it's not cute. The trauma is not cute. It's not something that you should can't wait for. No, hell no.
Well,
And then my
plus,
department.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that you got me rolling now. The department I was with. So I have the physical injury. There's the spiritual one because you're like, God, why me? Like what? What? I don't want to do anybody, but why is this happening? The mental, which I just explained. Financially. So I'm a single mom, right? My department went and froze my pay and everything. Workers' comp was never filed. So I had to, yeah, Dorothy, like, all
No
right.
freaking way.
You want to talk
So,
about trauma? She definitely has. Yeah.
So how do you have to prove? You have to show your chest or something?
you would think I had to liquidate my savings. Okay. I'm still paying on the debt now. I did get the money back, workers' comp. I had to sue them, if you will. Fun.
That
And
was a
had
lot
to
of
get
fun.
that back.
I'm just saying. Work with Tom.
And still
A
to
lot of
this day.
documentation. Oh.
I'm talking crazy. Crazy amount. Yes, Dr. Royce, remember? She was part of it. Crazy amount.
I've been on this roller coaster for 2 years. Yes, ma'am.
So I have to ask, because you said your father was a police officer. So what is his feelings that his baby got shot?
So when I got shot, I was still in the store. I sat down. This is right before medics came. And I called my dad. And so in Dollar General, they have the cigarette packs right behind the register. And it's a clear door, all right? And so I'm sitting behind the register and I'm looking at this clear door and my reflection. My vest looks like is not okay. Like your vest is straight up and down on your back. My vest is completely like this. It's really weird looking, but I don't know what's going on. I just feel the burn. So I called my dad and I said, Dad, I said, okay, don't freak out, but I've been shot. He said, what? And he could tell by my voice I was so he said, all right, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking. I'm on my way. And he came flying down in his Tesla. I had a feeling he was going to speed too, which is why I told him don't freak out. But I don't think he cared about that.
Tesla. I will say, like that car, I'm a little disappointed. Speed.
He loves his Tesla. Yes. So he came on down like Batman and was just, Dad's looking the whole entire time and in there with the doctor. And I don't know how. I asked him, I said, Dad, what were you doing when I got shot? He said he was on the computer doing something. He said, then you call. And I'm like, what? Like, it was hard for him to even understand. I'm a daddy's girl. My dad's mine. I love my mom. So, I have a tattoo that says dad. My dad's my dad. Yeah. So, yeah, my daughter was pissed. My daughter was she kicked me, actually. When I came home from the hospital.
Well, Orchid has a hell of personality. So let's do this correctly. Because this little girl, I wouldn't mess with, and she's not.
She goes hard. Oh, my
she
baby.
goes hella hard.
She goes hard. She kicked me. And I said, Orchid, that's not nice. She's 7, mind you. 7 at the time. And I had my girlfriend was over. Her name is Jen. She's with Newport News Speaking. She's one of my inspirations as well to go into law enforcement.
And by the way, she's awesome.
Yes, Jen is. She's a rock star. So Jen tells me, she says, Alisha, well, she kicked you because she's mad. I said, no, that's disrespectful. I don't understand. So I asked Orchid the next day. I said, why'd you kick my mom? And she said, because Mom, you got shot. You got hurt. And if you weren't working there, this wouldn't have happened, So having to, and I'm her mom, so I'm supposed to take care of you, But here she is helping me with my bandages and stuff, and going through the emotional. I almost lost my mind. You're going back out there. You're healing to go back, like the fear, the anger, is he still out there? He didn't get him. Like, is he looking for us? I had to go through all of that with her, and that was enough by itself. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you ended up. So after you recovered, you ended up going back out on the street as a police.
No. So I hurried up and healed, if you will. Um, and I laughed because Dr. Royster would always tell me, she's like, you need to be patient. You're not being patient with yourself. And I'm like, what is that? I'm sitting here doing nothing. Anyway, so I heard, I was like, okay.
Do not go together. It is not a thing
No,
for her.
it's on my prayer list though. I've been I've been working on that, you know. Um, it's just a weird situation to be in. I'm hyperactive. I like to go out. I'm proactive. I'm huge into community engagement. And just to not do anything because you tell me I can't do it. So that's another frustration mentally as well. Especially with Dr. Royster, I love her dearly, but I'm on the phone, I still am, but I'm like, I'm ready to get back out there. So I end up going back, but not there. I went to Isle White Sheriff's Office,
Mhm.
and I love the sheriff, Sheriff Clark. He's amazing. And I felt like I was doing great. I felt like I was doing good till I wasn't doing good. I had responded to a DUI and an ECO, which is emergency custody order, people who cannot take care of themselves or they're a threat to themselves or others kind of deal. Um, this ECO wanted suicide by cop, which means he was going to act up to make us have to draw some type of weaponry. So anyway, it ended up being cool, but on the way to the ECO, my body started shivering.
Yep.
I got so cold, and I told the people I was with, my backup colleagues, I'm like, it's freezing, and they're looking at me like, what? I'm like, y'all aren't cold, and I didn't have the guts to tell them like, I feel like I'm shaking inside. I don't know why. I've never experienced this before.
Right.
So I go ahead, everything's smooth. And then afterwards, it was like coming off of a high, like you're tired, draining. I'm like, okay. So then it happened a second time on a simple DUI. I love DUIs. And the lady was sweet as pie. But I started to shaking. I got cold. My thoughts just going back and forth and back.
Mhm.
I don't want to use this word, but I don't know another one, but I felt crazy, if you will. And I was trying to make it so that my feelings were not matching my external.
Right.
So I thugged it out, if you will, and went on home. The next day, I was scheduled to come into work. I have a whole panic attack. Right before I was like, I need help. I'm not right. I don't know what's happening. So I called Dr. Royster. Oh, like, doing that whole number respectfully to those but it gets like that. My panic attacks are like that, almost every single time.
Yeah, she struggles to breathe. It's very challenging. I got to shift her whole brain.
It's God, yeah. But yeah, I went ahead. They put me on light duty. Gave me a cool gig of being like a community engagement liaison, and I loved it. I was not on the street. Hated that part. Um, and it came to a point where I couldn't do patrol work anymore, and I had to accept that. So it was kind of like Dr. Royster had explained to me. I talk like she's not here, but she had explained to me, if you're a wrangler and your arm is broke, can you still wrangle? And I told her no. She said, what makes you think this is different? It's the same thing. And it took me it still takes me time to really understand, I thought, I ain't gonna lie to you, 3 days ago, I was driving home and I said, man, why don't you just go back? Why don't we just cancel all this retirement and just say, hey, I'm okay? And I said, Alicia, you'd be back in the same old boat you were when you were with Al White. It's like I'm grieving my career. I based my whole degree over on this, the community just.
Well, and I think the difference with post-traumatic stress and anxiety and, things you can't control, I think people seem to think like because it's an invisible wound that, you can comb over it. You can throw dirt on it. You can move forward. You can compartmentalize it. It's going to come up at the most inconvenient times, right? But if you have a broken femur, which is the biggest bone in your body, it's the top part of your leg, like that takes years to heal. You're not going to be able to go do an 18-mile ruck. It's not going to happen. And that is where, Alisha was at that time. And it was like, you have to radically accept your circumstances. And the radical acceptance is just about whether you don't agree with the situation, but you accept it as it is because it is what it is.
Detected at your front door.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's hard.
We showed up.
It's hard. It's hard coming to that acceptance. I don't think I've even fully accepted it now.
Well, I don't know if you accept anything, honestly, because you're pretty stubborn, but I love you.
Like, I'll tell you all this. They say, in law enforcement, they say officers, we hate change and we hate for things to stay the same. And that's kind of what it is, I don't want this to stay the same. It's been the same for 2 years now. Like, but at the same time, I don't want to change either. Like,
you're making moves. I mean, you're furthering your education. You're planning for the future. You're getting married. You got all these amazing things happening for you now. But then you're still grieving the past of a hypothetical. And sometimes we need to look at our past and go, maybe that was all I was supposed to do. And I always say, what did you learn? That's always a tough question.
Yeah. What did I learn? What did I learn? I learned a lot of things. I learned to be my own best friend for the first time. I learned to actually fight for myself physically and mentally a lot of times. That I am worth it. Because especially in law enforcement, we're so used to putting other people's problems first. That's what we like to do. So that way we don't have to focus on ours.
Sabrina said to throw punch. You learned to throw punch.
Love her.
So we all circle the same circles. We have friends in the force, and we all come together. So Sabrina is very well versed in, we've definitely done presentations together at churches and SISM, and so we all do these things where we share our experiences so others can learn from them, because like she said, it's not all wine and roses. And I think people need to stop romanticizing an officer, shot on duty. They seem to glorify that, and I just can't wrap my head around how an injury could be glorified. You could lend some insight to that, Alisha, because you've experienced it firsthand.
Yeah. It's got me. I can't call it. I think maybe it could be too that officers, we see, trauma on an everyday basis of some sort. And so when you get who's got the biggest trauma? Oh, me. I don't know if it's that. Maybe to be known. A lot of officers, I love us. A lot of officers are narcissists. Okay. And so when
you don't say
attention is on, surprise. Look, they are a lot. Got way too many. So I think that when attention is on them, and it's talk about how great I am, how wonderful, what I did over there. Like, nobody cares, dog. I mean, we care you got shot, and that's the thing. We care and we pour. So maybe they soak that in and that's what I want. I want that kind of attention. I want those kind of I'm sorry's and I'll do anything for you. I don't know. You got me. Because it sucks. It sucks so bad.
Wow. I just want to give a shout out to our other fellow police officer, Chris, and retired police officer, and Scott. some relate their worth through that. Much like how if you ask somebody how they are, they say super busy because that's what us as humans find idolized. Oh, that's me.
Whoa,
That's true.
that's a
That's
mic
good.
drop statement right there, Chief.
Yeah.
Holy cow. On the
Yes.
money, right?
Yeah. That's true, but it's so sad. That's so sad.
It's so true, though. He's on
Like, why do we idolize that? He is, yeah.
That's the $50 million question. You figure that out, well, I'll be rich. That's where we get value.
Value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It's a sad place to
See-
get value.
Okay, Scott, is that going to be in your book? Because I still haven't seen it on the shelves. So, when is that coming?
You feel
The
important.
important.
He's got a little delay. So Alisha knows Scott through Liberty OVE, and she can share a little bit about her lovely attorney. Because he did interview her. I connected her to him, shortly after she was still healing at that point when she did that little mini live, I think it was. But you could share some of that experience because I don't think you did any public speaking before this experience, had you?
With Scott? No, I think Scott was.
I mean, before that, like you went on the news or whatever, but that was like, this is the most you've done so far. This
Yes. No, this was the most. Yeah. No. No. This is. I would definitely count this, but Scott. Yeah, Scott was my first like podcast, and that was fun. I love me some Scott. He was so funny too because like we had. He was trying to explain to me how this goes because I'm like, I don't know about a podcast, so, and the, storytelling of it and and everything. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm going to say. If I'm going to mess up, he's going to be mad, so, and it worked. It was great. It was great. It was a great turnout. Liberty is amazing. I love Liberty. I follow them on Facebook. They're up there, guys, and so you should follow them too. But I love like the message and the cause and what does he say? A hero's journey. And I've met incredible people like Christina O'Neill, from Liberty, and just the support, the warmth, the love, people that have been through things or that can genuinely have that genuine empathy, if you will. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because like we were saying prior, a lot of people are just like, they just want to be a part of it. But when people actually, they want to talk to you and really want to know how you're doing, that's different.
You know what's crazy is Christina actually is, she was a Miami PD police officer, and now she's a Frontier airline pilot.
What? Hey, girl.
Yeah, she retired. Do what?
Did I meet her through our mutual friend Jonathan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Blue Guardian Network. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all
I met them through Liberty too.
Working together to serve, it's pretty cool. Yes, you did meet her. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And they gave me this cool shirt that I wear.
Yeah, you
actually wore it for July.
That's awesome.
Yeah. To support, but amazing cause for people. Oh, you show myself this. For people like us, like me.
So what they do is they fund like therapists and peers who have been trained in the trauma recovery intervention protocols. And what they do is they sponsor those first responders and those veterans to alleviate symptoms of their post-traumatic stress. And Alisha was one of those beneficiaries.
Yes,
Trip. You can talk about Trip.
Yes, Trip. Okay, yes. Trip was good. Trip is good. I went through Trip with Dr. Oyster. And so she would kind of put me through, I don't know what she does. She puts me through like these little tests, if you will, to get my brain to go from one side to the other. And then by the end of it, all my clutter, or what do we call it? I just said, what do we call it? Mental trash at one time.
Mental trash.
we call,
I love it.
we,
I love that.
we constantly like taking the trash out, all that stuff, kind of just sets aside.
That's not how I explain it, but that's pretty good. I do like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What I do
It's great. It makes your brain jump.
there are events that are connected to emotions like anger, sadness, fear, shame, guilt, or hurt. And those have all happened to us. It's just how our brain processes or doesn't process the information. And what this does is a visual imagery process based on positive events, and it disconnects. Chaplain Sack said, I love it.
Sure.
She's great. He was on her podcast last week. So he was a 9/11
Oh.
police officer. So what it does is it disconnects those emotions from the events so that when you go to sleep, it puts them in the files where they belong in the back of the brain. So that a trauma that feels like it's right here actually moves a lot farther away. But mental trash, it takes out the trash.
Into the trash.
That's awesome. I must
It
do
moves
that.
it far away to the trash.
She's
Yes,
right.
but
That's what it does.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I take a nap. Do I not remember? I would tell you, I'm like, I just took the greatest nap. Yeah.
She's like, I gotta go to bed. We'll do this. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. We're good for the rest of the day. Yeah. I usually take a nap because it just, I love it. Yeah.
It clears everything up.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like it. We got to do that a few times over, I think.
Well,
Right.
you've had different events, so yeah. I mean, it's gonna do
Right.
that. But so I'm glad that it made you feel better. And the thing is, Dorothy, when I did meet her initially, like she had real bad OCD. She'd check all the doors, all the windows. It was very compulsive. And I don't even think she remembers that part, but I was like, oh man, how am I going to help her? Like I was panicking because it was just a whole nother level for me. And when I created Trip, it was derived from so many different modalities. And, when we started the show, I said, I'm trained in like 37 different things. So it's like pulling little pieces of things and then, using people like Officer Buchanan as guinea pigs. It's like, are you okay with me throwing this at you and see if we can get rid of your trash? Like, let's try, so it's like, what is it? Trial and error over and over and over again with about 10,000 people. And I just keeps evolving, but I think now we have it to a point where it's pretty efficient, and I'm pretty blessed to have an organization like Liberty to back it. And we're doing a lot of evidence-based research right now. So anybody wants to be a guinea pig out there, call us. Like, we got you.
I got a new one for you. So yeah, I just got my trauma tonight. So yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. I got you. But there are a lot more than just who are doing these, Officer Sachs, Chief Hendrick, they're all trained in this. So the peers are trained and the therapists are trained. And we have many, many people who can read the script and go through things. And it's very directive. So you don't have to tell me your story. I happen to know her story by 6 people before she even got to me. So 6 people called me and goes, Doc, we got an officer, a young officer, beautiful officer who doesn't need to live with this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
they probably didn't say beautiful, Dorothy. She threw that.
You
threw that part in there.
We call you.
I didn't know that.
With a spoon, but
Yeah. I don't think I look like a black Reese Witherspoon though. You think so, Dorothy?
All the teeth.
She's a bit beautiful, stunning.
I know she's gorgeous. I tell her that all the time.
Oh, thank you guys.
She's like, I'm gonna get off here now.
No, I think it's sweet. Thank you. But I don't see black Reese Witherspoon. I just don't see that. I'm not call it Zoe Saldana, that chick from Avatar. I've gotten that, but not Reese Witherspoon.
I'm gonna take a selfie and put "You are awesome," and you're gonna put it on your bathroom mirror.
I'll do it too. I'll do it.
With Banff across the top.
With Banff, yes. I thought about getting that tattooed actually. Right there on my wound there.
That's amazing.
I've been kicking back and forth to get a tattoo or not since my dad died. And, maybe I'll do the one that I said, but maybe put Banff on the other side. the butterfly here and Banff on this side. You know?
You should. You should. Yeah, get it. Why not?
We'll see.
Life's too short. It's too short and too unpredictable. Just do it.
So what's next for you, ma'am?
I don't know. I thought what is next? I'm still working on accepting everything, especially since the retirement, because that's crazy to me. Continuing in school and just literally living every day like I'm not going to see the next one, because you may not, and just taking everything that life has to offer for me. So whatever's in God's will.
I will say that she is the most appreciative person of life that I know. And she's probably one of the most gracious, elegant humans that I know. So I think whatever you decide to do, you are going to launch it into the stratosphere.
Thank you.
She's so cute. She doesn't know what to do with that. She's like,
No.
And if you need some ideas, girlfriend, I have 10 different projects on the go that need help. So, just let me know and we'll keep you busy.
All right. Okay, yes. I always like to do, I read a lot. I like to.
She likes fundraising. She likes community engagement. She likes that kind of thing. She's one of them. I'm a networker.
I have to be involved.
Executor.
Yeah. That's what I love to do. I don't know. It's odd because, it's not what I used to do. It is a little bit, but not, in that capacity. So it's like I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. At first it was industry, then law enforcement. Now I'm like, I don't know.
So Chaplain Sack said, okay, so the detective part of me is telling me to say, get a tattoo. The chaplain part of me is staying out of it. I love the Banff idea.
Funny.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is.
I have to. I'm going to tell you, and because Banff carried me through. And it sounds so cheesy and corny, but when I got into medics and I was all struggling and couldn't breathe, and I kept asking, there was 2 medics in there, and I kept asking them, am I going to be okay? Am I going to make it? Because, they cut my clothes off and my vest, and I'm like, am I going to make it? Am I all right? And he's like, you're fine. So I said, okay. And when he had told me that, we call people like you Banff in the Army. And I said, what is that? Badass motherfucker. And I said, all right, badass motherfucker. And I just held on to that the entire time in the hospital. And even when I got out, and even now to this day, it became my nickname for a lot of people. It's on my bracelet, like, even in my darkest hours and darkest times, I'm like, Alisha, no, you're Banff, remember? Get up, let's go.
That's awesome. Even Scott said tattoos. Well, of course, when he retired from the military after like 2,900 years, because he retired as chief, right? He got a sleeve, he got out.
There's not too many people I know that have been in the military that doesn't have a tattoo of some sort. Well, we got to get you one.
You don't have any tattoos?
No, ma'am.
What?
Do you want one?
It's not about wanting one. It's more about having a needle. I have a metal allergy. So, I would need an antibiotic to go get a tattoo, and that's just not a thing that I've done.
I was going to say, because if you decide to do it, we'll go together.
Oh, well,
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
No promises.
Get the tattoo.
This.
Get the tattoo. See? Peer pressure.
I don't cave to peer pressure.
Right?
Just don't. I did younger.
Yeah, see? Even Chief says all I hear is excuses. Get it? He's so Chief Master Sergeant.
Are you going to come hold my hand, Chief, as I get the tattoo?
Well, we'll see. Yeah, exactly. He might. He lives in Florida. He could come down when you fly down, lady. We can make that happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Or we could go to Destin and go see him because it's beautiful up there, and why not?
True.
I'll get another one if you get one. Ooh, okay.
You should get Banff. Get Banff up there.
Get Banff. We just all get Banff.
Yeah.
Me, Jojo, Jen.
Just all of us.
Right here, so that we look at it all the time. You know,
Look,
people
don't tempt me with a good
agree-
time because I'll do it.
They-
Well, I'm coming up in September for Newport News Schism, so you never know. We might be able to make this happen. Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
So,
You guys are corrupting me. This is, this is why I hang out with first responders and veterans and military people.
because we're awesome.
And that's right. Yeah. They talk me into shit. And my family's like, who the hell are you? Like, I don't even recognize who you are. Yeah.
Well,
Anyhow.
if we don't do it, who will? Right?
Sure. That.
You're my tribe. What can I say?
That's right. So,
All right.
Miss Alisha, is there anything that you want the audience to know?
God is real and his hedge of protection is real. I want everybody to know that. Everybody to know that. Because when I was alone, I wasn't even alone. I called for backup. I did say that. They never came. Too far out or whatever. But I often think about who would have found my body. So I say I would want everybody to know God's hedge of protection is the realest and the dopest thing that's on this planet.
Wow. I can't even imagine. No wonder why you had those thoughts. Because I've never been a police officer, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
Like, pardon my French. But to me,
It's your
To
channel. You can say fuck as much as
Yeah.
you want. Dorothy.
but like, seriously, that's what okay. So in my mind, every time I hear a police officer, it's like a brotherhood, just like the fire department brotherhood, but yet no one has your back or your six or whatever you want to call it. That's freaking downright disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
It's heartbreaking.
that is heartbreaking. And to live with that, what does people call that? Moral injury.
Yes. Very much, because your morals and values are compromised by, what you're ordered to do. And then even that is a belief system and a value system that you carry that others don't carry. There's very much betrayal in that. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers. Sorry, we're bringing her down. Let's bring her
Let's
back
bring her
up.
back.
No, you're not. I mean, it's not nobody's fault. I want to say this too. It's not because I have trooper friends, Virginia State troopers, and I had one that beat himself up so bad. My sergeant, who, God bless him, he just passed away this past month. He had a medical emergency while trying to fight somebody on duty. But he beat himself up so bad because he was on light duty. And I'm like, but what do? We work one at a time. Everybody, our surrounding jurisdictions know that. And nothing's going to happen here. Like they say, complacency kills, till something happens here. And, oh crap, now what, It ain't nobody's fault. But, yeah, by myself. I still can't get over that sometimes.
Well,
Somebody,
we'll
anybody,
always
just
be
come
there
on.
for you.
Thank
So
you.
tell us something that nobody knows about you.
Something that nobody knows about me.
Not even your amazing fiance who looks so fine. Mickey, he's so fine.
Something that
Yes,
he
God
doesn't
had-
know about me.
God had her about. That's right.
Her fiance is a
Yes, he
police
is.
officer too, so she surrounds herself with a bunch of first responders.
He is a police, and now I gotta live through him. Sometimes, well, most of the time, I love hearing his stories. Sometimes I'm like, I really don't want to talk about this today, but I'm not going to tell him that. That's something nobody knows. There we go. Does that count? Something that nobody knows about me. I said, golly.
See, that's the challenge of living an authentic and genuine life, is that when you ask that question, like, I know you're going to end up interviewing me, like we're going to have somebody fall out the bottom and we got to do a live and I'm going to be stuck telling my story. And I know on that day you're going to ask me and I'll be like, dude, I got nothing.
I've got something. This is something that he doesn't know, that nobody knows. Well, my cousin does, but that doesn't count because I grew up with her. She's my first cousin. That doesn't count though. She knows because she was there. So the sound of a blade against ice drives me freaking crazy. I'll start drooling. It irritates me. It makes my ears bleed. Like ice skating. I'm not the one you want to take ice skating.
Oh,
So just that ice,
okay.
like fork with ice, just the
You
yeah,
got to
no,
be able to go to hockey games, so we got to fix that.
Yes.
not your girl. Not a candidate for that. I don't know why. But I experienced that at a very young age where, because she would chew ice. That's why she would know. And I would about, Christina, stop doing that. Stop. It's not okay. It, veins come out. It's just terrible.
Face comes out. Ooh, all
That
right.
is actually
Yeah.
that is actually a condition. Somebody I love dearly, I'm not going to say who, I don't want to embarrass them, has this thing, and there is a name for it, and I knew it before I went to go say it, but it is actually a because I was going crazy because he was going crazy. Like you can chew ice, you can chew gum, you can do any of that. Chips, you can't eat chips. It is a condition, and it intensifies in their head like a million times over, and they want to kill you. Like they want to just take your hand and just shake the shit out of you. It's a true thing. So I get you. Uh,
My,
yes, I've lived around that condition on the other side of it. So I can't
yes.
chew gum, can't have ice in a glass.
Yeah, my thing is ice. That for some, I just feel down my spine. And it's not okay.
It's
Oh,
misophonia.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
misophonia. Yeah,
Yes.
And phonophagia is when you have this compulsion to eat ice.
that's probably what my cousin had.
Yeah.
And
Girl, I get you. It is difficult.
yeah, that is something that nobody knows about me.
Well, we know now.
Now they all know. So don't go ticking me off.
We still love you.
Give me all ammo.
People
Thank
are
you. I
not
love
love
you guys.
her, though. Like, she's just so easy.
That is true.
In a good way, not the weird way.
No, don't make it weird.
Awesome. Is there any way we could support you in on your next phase of your journey?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I don't think so. Y'all say prayer. I'll always say prayer. Depending on who you pray to now, but hold on. Nothing that like I could think of that would actually but I appreciate you asking that question though. That's really nice. I don't have many
Absolutely.
people ask. So thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Well, I've enjoyed you guys. I really have.
We've enjoyed having you. This has been interesting. I have so many more questions, but I don't.
Ask me. We got time.
How is your daughter now? With
How
it's
old
been
is
2
she?
years. Well, you said she's 9 now. But
Oh.
you said that she wanted to kick your ass, or she kicked you.
Yeah,
What did?
she kicked
How
me.
is she doing now with everything?
Um, now okay, so I went back to all white, right? I mean, not back to all white. I went to all white and did the whole patrol thing. She was not a supporter. She was not happy for me. When I had announced that I was going back, I had people that were like, yeah, that's great. That's what's up. I'm so proud of you. Orca was not one of those people. She's like, Mom, no. I remember leaving the house to go to work one morning. It was day shift. And Orchid said, she said, Mom, I'm feeling sad. And I said, why are you sad for? She said, because I don't want you to die today. So it's just kind of in the back of her mind of, I don't want that. Outside of that, knowing I've retired, Orchid has been so happy about that. I think she knows I misses it, but I've been telling her, I'm like, your feelings and your thoughts are important to me. As an officer, I missed so many holidays with her. I worked for 3 every single holiday. I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas, President's birthday, like everything. Okay, every single Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. I missed a lot of time with her, from her. So, and call it mom guilt, maybe. But she's happy that I'm not out there.
Kids have a way of doing that. But then so do mothers. I get guilt tripped by my mother quite often, so I get it or attempt it. I don't fall into the trap anymore, or as often.
Yeah, Dorothy's been taught a lot. I'm just saying.
The BAMF over here has taught this BAMF a lot.
Yeah, a whole lot of life experience and a whole lot more education. Let me just put it that way. But I've been pretty blessed to have people in my life who have taught me a significant amount. I don't think without people like Chief and, several other people in my life, I don't think I would have the confidence or the leadership skills, to create some sort of private practice and lead a bunch of I didn't think that I had the leadership skills I have, but bringing them out. I mean, like he worked with you about your story and your journey, and he's very good at that. So personally, I think he needs to do a little side gig doing that because he is so good at it. But I don't know if he's still listening or not, but I highly think he should.
Mr. Zach says, have you joined the FOP or any fraternal organizations?
No, I don't know much about them. I don't really know much about them.
Well, Alisha, meet Chaplain Sachs. I'm going to connect you via text, and y'all have a good time.
Okay.
And he's a chaplain. Isn't he the one that is a chaplain?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Alisha, there you go.
That
is definitely
God together.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, we'll have to.
Well, wait, Michael, are you okay with it?
Well,
I don't want to talk to this girl. Now I feel obligated, so I got to say, yeah. Look, that would help reach. Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
That would be cool.
Well, Michael also teaches like critical incident stress management and all that. Like he's part of the International Fraternal of La La La, and he's very, very, very talented individual. I don't know what it's called. ICIPGYQI. Like I hate abbreviations.
And he says absolutely. So connect them, Jay.
Done. Did it.
Okay. No, thanks. That'll be fun.
I'm a network queen, man. I love to connect people because then I'm like, okay, do your thing.
That's what we do here. That's part of what the show is about, connecting people who need help with whomever. And when you're on your show, now you're part of the family.
Yep.
So
welcome.
Welcome. You can't get rid of us. Even though you might want to, trust me, after a couple years. But.
No. Alisha can deal. She's excited. But thank you so much for being a part of the show and telling your story. There it is. Yes. International Critical Incident Stress Foundation. ICISF. There it is. Yes, sir.
So many acronyms. BAMF, FINE, ICISF.
That's what I'm saying. TRIP. Lord. Love, Liberty, OVE. So many.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go on all night long, but I just want to thank Alisha for definitely coming on and sharing your story. Like, this has been powerful. I know that any police officer that is listening to this, especially if it's a female police officer, is like right there with you. Oh my God.
You have to share what you wrote.
Seriously, Scott. What the hell does that mean?
He's being funny. LMNOP. It's part of the alphabet.
Oh,
we were talking about all these abbreviations.
Right. Anyhow, that went off on a scroll.
I am the translator, Miss Alisha, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know how I got this job, but I got it.
I don't know. Did you have any more questions, Dr. J, before we wrap this up?
Well, usually I compliment the bejesus out of her, but I already did that, so that's checked off. Let me think. So
funny.
If you had to present yourself and speak about, in a forum or a police department or like a chiefs to chiefs meeting or something like that, like what would your takeaway be from this entire experience?
My takeaway?
Yes, ma'am.
Man. My takeaway would be to stand tall, stand your ground. They teach you that in the academy, and it sounds cute, so you actually got to do it.
Right.
That's what I would. That's what I would tell them. I would tell them if I'm speaking to a chief, police, somebody in leadership, to be there for your people, because there's folk that are battling wars that you may not be able to see, and they're not going to talk about it, and they're going to hide it and put a cute little bow on it. They're going to look good.
We are losing officers in record numbers. The officer who almost lost her life in San Bernardino said that there were 100 officers that have been taken from us, and this was in June, right? Wow. And typically by this time, 100 officers being taken, their lives being taken, typically happens. The number is hit in October.
So now, is that just being on the job, or is that with the suicide rate too, or a combination?
Just on the job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
These are line of duty deaths. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's unacceptable.
It is. Something that Jen, my girlfriend with Newport News PD, she told me, in the academy, they teach you all these things, and your department teaches you all these things. But do they actually, I said, stand tall, because you can't really teach somebody to, when it's time to fight, you got to fight. You can talk about it, but that has to come from within. For those officers that naturally don't have it within them, because there are a few that have ran away from fights. A few that I know that have just took off. Maybe let's put them in another department. I'm not saying get rid of them, but go. What's the whole saying? If a fish is told to climb a tree, it'll always think it's dumb.
Yes.
Let's let them be a school resource officer, or let's let them be,
put them in
something
a position that they're better suited for. Yes.
A firearms trainer or something like that. But to be on the street, because it can become like James City today. All right. And that's just Red Street. So just like today, it could become so dangerous so quick. And next thing you know, it's your life literally on the line. As a chief, as a supervisor, I don't want that. As a senior officer, even what I was, I don't want that on. I don't want your blood on my hands.
Right.
That would be a takeaway, especially from the way that I was treated within my department. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story. I appreciate you to the depths and beyond, And I do want to give a shout out to JoJo. I cannot wait till she finally accepts my British Newport News officer who decides to talk. She's actually called the Nut Whisperer. So she is going to tell her stories as soon as I can get her on this podcast. I did share this to her messenger, so I'm hoping that she's watching it. So shout out, love her to pieces. Cannot wait for her to be a part of this, because we do have so many officers that have such a wonderful and amazing, journey in their serving the community. And then those veterans that are serving our country, everybody has a story. And I hear so many veterans, it's like, well, it's not that exciting. And it's like, you have no idea who you might reach and who might be going through the same thing. And the challenges that you face that you're vulnerable enough to share might save someone's life.
Yeah. You
could very easily stand in the gap for someone else. And they may choose to have the courage to reach out and get the help they need. I love all the clients in the world, but at the same time, We are very few. So reach out in your community, reach out in your state, reach out in your country. Just talk to someone because your life is precious and you are worth it.
Mic drop.
I do that sometimes.
With that, guys, stay cool in all that you're doing, especially with this weather. And connect with Dr. J, especially if you need help with any of,
Struggle.
whatever it is, troubles that you're going through.
Yep.
Your troubles or your traumas, get a hold of Dr. J. And yeah, we'll see you same time, same channel next week. And bye
Stay
for now.
safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Thanks,
Hang
everyone.
on, Alicia.